Alright, what up guys? Welcome back. For those of you that don't know, my name's Rich. This video is going to be part 2 of the LS swap BRZ. Alright, so as you can see, we have a care package courtesy of Sikky. In this box we have the exhaust manifolds, header gaskets, V-bands, manifold bolts, the eccentric rack bushings, and we got all kinds of goodies. Clutch master, all the lines. We have the brake lines to move those, a fuel line kit, the pickup tube, stuff for the oil pan, part of the trans mount bracket, oil filter relocation kit, oil pan is in the big box on the bottom, dipstick tube, and then of course we got engine mount brackets and the spacers for the subframe. So like I said, we are waiting on a few things still. We're waiting on the drive shaft and the actual trans mount brackets to show up. So I think what we'll do today is we might take a peek at trying to get these eccentric rack bushings in. I'll start, just because this is quick and easy, I'll start with getting these subframe spacers put in. Okay, so first thing is you're going to want to loosen up your crossbar here and loosen up the actual two 17 mil cross member bolts that are on each side, the four 14 mil bolts that are holding the cross brace here. And yeah, you're just going to take the little one here and you're basically going to slide it in like that, put your bolts back in. That's that one. Leave this still kind of loose so that you can sag the actual subframe now, and then come back and cinch these all up once you get all four of the spacers in. Okay, so as you can see, spacers are in. It's pretty simple. They just contour to the shape of the subframe. So once you get them all in, go ahead and tighten these all down. And then swap out your 17 for a 14 and tighten these up. Two Ugga is the correct torque spec, for anybody wondering. Okay, so with the subframe spacers in, let's move on to these rack bushings. Remove your old bolts, let the rack hang, And let's go ahead and get these old bushings out. Okay, so I thought that I wasn't going to be able to do the rack bushings today because I forgot the C-clamp that I was going to use. And then I remembered that I totally had this Harbor Freight ball joint press kit. And let me tell you what, this thing is perfect out of the box. The diameter of the hole here is perfect for the bushing to slide through when you're pressing it out, and this presses it perfectly. So you put that up there, you wind that in, presses the bushing perfectly. You don't need to like come up with, you know, a socket that fits it just right or anything like that. So literally just cut the outer rubber bushing off so that the press does fit perfectly over it, and then literally just wind the thing up and press the bushing out. Yeah, so you actually don't even need to cut the outer part of the rubber off. You can literally just use that press to press that bushing all the way out, and it will just come right out. And then your new ones slide right in, left hand drive, faces up, put your bolts back in it, booyah, there you go. I figure we'll move on to getting this old girl removed now. So yeah, as you can see, started cutting out the spot welds, which this literally is probably the most pain in the ass part of the whole swap. I see why they say that, because yeah, they put way too many fucking spot welds, and of course you actually need a right angle drill to get to some of these, because your drill, like I got a normal Milwaukee drill and it's just too big to get up in here, you know, it's too long. So you do need a like I was actually able to get this side for the most part, but I can't get the top ones up here without a right angle, and same with over here, can't get these without a right angle. So I'll have to do that and then finish getting this out, but at least making progress on getting that removed. But yeah, good God, that is stupid. Today I'm going to start with getting these brake lines off and bring this down underneath here like they recommend, and getting the new sikky brake lines in. So yeah, I'm going to start with breaking these free, moving this down, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so we have the sikky brake lines installed, ran behind the cross member and down and underneath. So next, gonna go ahead and get this clutch master removed. So the shitty part about removing the clutch master from the pedal is when you have a roll cage and you have a fixed bucket seat that does not move, and you have this small of a space and you have a fat ass gut like me. So this is gonna be fun. But I'm about to squeeze myself upside down into this hole and get this clevis pin removed. Okay, so got my fat ass underneath the dash there and undid the pin for the clutch pedals. So now we just need to take out these two 12s and we'll pull the whole master and slave with the line together. I've never worked on cars before one-handed. So yeah, pull the whole unit out together. And now we can go ahead and get out the sikky kit. Okay, so we used the cutoff wheel. We got our hole cut. Now, this obviously is not gonna fit all the way in there yet. There's this little stud that holds it on the harness. That needs to be ground down and cut off. And then we're also gonna take a razor blade and we're gonna cut this section of carpet out of the top and the bottom. So we have that in. Now before we go and tighten down the nuts, what you want to do is actually crawl back inside and make sure that the clutch master rod is lined up with the pedal, because sometimes if you bolt in your master cylinder like this to the pedal and you have it jammed way off to the side, you don't have enough throw to bring the rod back in to line it up with the clutch pedal. So before you go and tighten this down, crawl back underneath, put your clutch fork rod back on the pedal, shove your clevis pin through, then come tighten up these nuts. Okay, let's see if I can bring the camera with me here. Yeah, let's see if this thing is... Oh God. So on this one, you can see it was offset like I thought it would be. You never get that thing lined back up right on the first try, but luckily enough, this one you can just easily move it and center it back up. So we'll go ahead and throw the pin in it and then tighten up the nuts on the outside, crawl back underneath here and adjust the pedal. Okay, so we threw the clevis pin back in on the pedal. So we'll go ahead and throw our nuts back on here, hook up our external reservoir. So we'll go ahead and alright, so I was gonna go ahead and mount up the external reservoir and get that buttoned up, but it appears that Sikky did not send the mount bracket that it bolts to. They sent the hardware with it, but it is not in this box. I went through the paper and everything, and yeah, so gonna have to have Dimitri reach out and get that bracket, because there is a bracket that bolts to this lower brake master cylinder nut and holds the reservoir up in here. So we'll have to finish that up another day, but for now, as you can see, we have it in. Just need to get the motor and trans in, and then we can hook up our clutch line.